So, direction-wise now, fairway... Ooh, get the line good. Fairway was basically down there, so your alignment now is better. So there's a tendency to go a bit to the right there slightly, okay? But again, if you're starting to get a little bit of that shape, then that's fair enough, to be fair. I think with the drive, we want to definitely get a bit open, to be fair, because that's still going to be a little fade. We're going to similar, so see how the driver's playing there with the fade and so on. But aim a little bit left just to allow for that. Don't try and aim right to try and hit a shot that's going to go that way. Yeah. Then you're going against your body and all the different lines we're trying to create, okay? But in terms of the takeaway now, the club's going back nicely on toe line there, okay? Yeah. And as you swing back up here now, you're setting the wrist, but the wrists aren't cupping so much. You need to sort of cup the wrist to get the power back. As the club goes back now, as we said, right hand sort of staying a little bit more on top there now, so your right elbow's a little bit higher. Club now kind of more in line with your spine angle there at this position. Yeah. Halfway back there now. Club face now, you can see that face is a bit more up to the sky rather than twisted round. And as that club then comes back to impact, pretty good position there, okay? Yeah. They're over the top there, hands and arms nicely underlying your shoulders. Club coming back, and look at your divot path. Yeah. Divot line going towards target, ball flying towards target, and again a nice release of that right foot. No pain in the right foot, no pain in the left ankle and the left knee. Everything's releasing the same way as I before on the golf course. When I swing it better, it doesn't hurt. Yeah. Because like when you try and swing it, the way it does hurt is your way of trying to stop the ball going over here somewhere. Yeah. Try to and then you just you put so much stress on that left ankle. Yeah. And your body's like, oh, bloody, that's going to be really sore, okay? Yeah. So the feeling, as you said, that you went back to that Wayfarers game of golf when you said for a year you played with a three-quarter swing. How you created a three-quarter swing may or may not have been the right way. It may not have been as short as you felt, but the feeling of wristless for you, because your wrist is certainly hinging 90 degrees and then some. It's not a short backswing in terms of the wrist hinge. It's a bit short because the left arm doesn't go so high. But that's just your range of motion. If I said to you now, put your left arm across your chest, keeping your shoulders straight, how far can your left arm get across your chest there? Put your left arm out there, keep your left arm dead straight, keep the shoulders straight. How far can that get across over that bending, you see? So if you can get it round here, you can get a full backswing. Yeah. Only get to there, you can't get a full backswing unless you... Exactly, it's the big muscles, isn't it, mate? Okay, but that's the thing, it's rotator cuff movement, okay? If you can't get your arms across your chest this way, you're never going to get up there. Yeah. You're going to be back here somewhere, which is why I think people try to sometimes cheat the backswing to try and get more power. You're not short with those. Those 8 irons are going to 150 there.
Thing to do, though, without realising you're doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And it's instinct sometimes when you're trying to get. I think as a good golfer, you can feel wrist hinge creates power. But if you're doing it with a lot of wrist hinge on the way back and you cup the wrist more, then when you come back, there's a lot more wrist hinge here. When you're timing it well, and you get a few games of golf throughout the year where things are just clicking and all aligned, and you're in the ball in miles. You saw on the course that last time, you had a couple of drives that go like 260, 270, and you're like, oh, awesome. Yeah. But then one might go at 170 and a big cutty one to the right there. Because it's just that timing of that hand. If you're trying to time a club and doing this at the last second, it's very hard. So we're not closing the club face more, we're just opening the club face less. Yeah. In theory. So the club face now is going to be a lot more square here. So when you come back to the golf ball, it's this way rather than doing that and then that and then that and then doing that. So you're trying to time that at 70, 80 mile an hour with your irons. Yeah, you'll get it on occasions when things are all lovely.
When I do that, there's less chance of it coming back
exactly.
down.
Yeah. If your hands are, how can you get how can you get the club behind that?
Back through the
exactly.
Ball.
That right wrist cupping and doing this means your right forearm now is kind of going this way. How the heck can you get the club now? You can't get anywhere. Yeah. So if you can get that flatter with that right wrist at the top, so you might feel more on your right wrist. Be fair, it depends on which wrist, but feel that sort of right wrist sort of supporting the club there. So less wrist on the way back. That club now could be in a more what feels hooded. And after you hit one shot where the ball went left, your divot patterns then went to a dead straight line. Yeah. Because you weren't trying to stop it go on the bank on the right as the first shot was. The first one went right to target, and then your next 4 or 5 swings, the divots were kind of going 10 degrees, 13 degrees left of target. Then when you hit a first shot left of target, you went, okay, right, I get the club face square now. I don't need to try and hit it to the left. I can now swing my divot pattern towards target, and you actually hit some lovely little draws there, and again, a higher ball flight. Because your club's kind of coming, if I got that club 2 seconds, mate, your club's kind of coming in from here this way, as opposed from here and doing kind of that way and then just burying the club in the ground. But if you take the club back and you overhinge your wrist and you do that with the forearm, the club gets wide open. If you come on the inside, you're in a lot of trouble. Then you've got to do a lot of this, square the club face up. How steep, where's that going to go? About 10 foot off the ground. Okay, so it's less wrist to keep the club face squarer, not more wrist to square the club face up.
Sure.
So less is more in some ways, yeah? We're not putting more movement into it and stuff. We're actually keeping the club face addressed square, keep it square, maintain it square.
It's a sim.
Precisely, mate, exactly. It's less to go wrong and less things or less variables, okay? But we try to create a long backswing by just cheating. And I don't think you were necessarily deliberately doing that. It's just become an instinctive movement you started creating to try and get that club over the top. So, okay, a couple more down with that each time, and then we're going to sim with a couple of drivers, okay?